Just a second. Come on in.
I think there's a problem with the newsletter.
Why you disrespect the family like this? What are you doing?
Look, I just want to talk about the newsletter.
You come in here on the day of my daughter's wedding. And you...
Your daughter's already married.
Hey, boss.
Hey.
Oh. Is that a little better?
What do you want?
I just got a call from Ron Matheson. He says he can't make the board meeting this week. He's got his son's birthday party.
Why does he disrespect the family like this?
Well, no, it's not a big deal. It's just he just can't make it, but maybe we could give him a call and tell him we'll reschedule.
Maybe we should send him a message?
No, I think that's overreacting just a little bit. I think just a simple phone call would be good enough.
I think we should send him a message. Maybe we should make him an offer he can't refuse.
I don't know. I think you're going a little over the top, boss. I think, how about, maybe we take a couple of us, go over, meet with him, and just encourage him strongly to come to the board meeting.
What do you think, JP?
Yeah, I think we should make him an offer we can't refuse, boss. This Ron guy, I'll break both of his knees. Bada boom, bada bing, baseball bat, done. Where does he live?
This is getting way out of hand. We gotta just chill out a little bit, I think.
Oh, Kevin. You come in here on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Dude, your daughter's been married for 8 months.
Okay, you come in here shortly after my daughter's wedding. You don't ask for friendship.
Hey, listen, man. We've been friends for like 8 years. Come on.
Kevin. Look. Don't disrespect the family. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to disrespect you, man. It's just, it's only a board meeting. Like, come on.
I still think we should make him an offer he can't refuse.
Listen, man, what's up? What's going on here? Have you been watching The Godfather or something?
Yeah, I have.
Listen, if you're gonna do The Godfather, at least make sure you're wearing matching shoes. Come on.
There's two things that I think we bear out in this reference to the mafia, the Godfather. There's two questions to ask ourselves about being part of God's family. Number one, what support can I expect from the family? Right? So that's why people throw their lot in with the Godfather, is he offers them support. I'm going to take care of you. You're part of the family. Right? The first question we ask ourselves, what's the support we should expect from being part of a family? And the second question is, what responsibility do I owe to the family? Right? The support we get from being part of one another, but the responsibility we have to one another. You're part of the family. You don't disrespect the family. Okay? And so as we go through Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 to 5, brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently. But watch yourselves, or you also may be tempted. The first word I'm going to share with you today is the word restoration. That being part of the family involves restoration. And we should expect that's one of the benefits of being part of the family. Is that if you do have a struggle, you do have a trip and fall, the family is going to be there to walk with you and see you through to restoration. What's church all about? What's a good name for church? Church is a grace place. It's a rehabilitation base. It's a restoration station. It's an expectation location and a new day destination. Come on in, both saint and sinner, to this Second Chance Depot, this spiritual fitness studio. To the broken, church is a heart fix facility. To the stretched and stressed, It is a haven of tranquility. Church is a soul care sanctuary, for we are a forgiveness factory. If you're at the end of the end of your rope, it's a hope dispensary. Church is a house of help and a home of blessing. To those in the clamor of the struggle, come to the Lakeshore and find refreshing. It's a safe harbor for those who've been hopelessly drifting through choppy seas, and a tower of power to the weak and the weary. Rise and shine, boys and girls, and welcome to Camp Kindness. All aboard this train bound for Mercy Central. This is a habitat for I can't go back. Don't matter if it's your last resort, come and find rest behind the walls of this faith-filled fort. We are a zealously jealous-free zone, just one big happy family. And we're so glad when a prodigal comes home. So take a right turn on Salvation Street and head up that narrow road right into the fountain of forever life. The doors will always be open, and we'll come running to welcome you in, because that's what church ought to be. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Too kind. There's a lot of people that are hurt, harmed, troubled by churches. Churches that wag their finger, churches that point and scowl and call names and put down, criticize and judge. But I love Joel chapter 2, where God says, I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten. If you've ever been hurt or harmed by church and church people, I want to encourage you, in the words of Joel chapter 2, that God can repay you for those pains and sorrows of your past. He can give you a new day to start out with a new family, where you can see people come alongside you and say, I want to see you restored to God and restored to the family. That's a beautiful thought. Continuing into Galatians chapter 6, and now coming to our second point. The first point was restoration, and the second point, the best word I could think of was relief. There should be relief when you're part of the family. Galatians 6:2 says, carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. Carry each other's burdens. There's relief. So here comes my friend Pastor Kevin. He's walking along the road. Look at him. He's carrying this heavy burden. Oh my goodness, and I come along as part of the family, and I say, hey brother, can I help you with your burden? Here I am to help him with his burden, right? And we're going to make our way in the world today. Can we do that? Okay, all right, fine. Okay. Because we're part of the family, we're committed to each other, and we're here to help carry each other along. Relief. I hope you've seen it in church where you're carrying each other. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 says, 2 are better than 1 because they have good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. So how many saw at least one example of hoarding this week? Anybody? Did you come into a store and you saw people going nuts over eggs? Or I don't understand the toilet paper craze. I understand toilet paper. I understand the value, but the Bible never tells us to hoard away for ourselves. It says, if somebody asks for your cloak, give them the shirt off your back too. Hey, brother, do you need toilet paper? Let me share mine with you. Exactly the opposite of the attitude we're seeing in our world today. We've been called to give relief to one another. Okay, so back to our text, and the third and final little section. If anyone thinks they are something when they are not, they deceive themselves. Each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else. For each one should carry their own load. Now remember the previous reference to carrying our burden in verse 2 and now in verse 5, two different words. There's times when we need help carrying our burden, but now he says we should carry our own load. And I'm going to call this, is responsibility. I believe what he's talking about here in verse 5 when he says we should carry our own load, he's talking about that's our responsibility. You'll remember a moment ago, I talked about the Greek word meaning the freight inside of a ship, right? It's the captain's responsibility to get that cargo to where it's supposed to go. I have responsibility in my life to take care of certain things, and Pastor Kevin can't carry those for me, okay? So I'm going to define the word responsibility as the ability to respond to life. I can't call Pastor Kevin and say, Pastor Kevin, can you come over and clean up my bedroom? My mama says my bedroom got to be clean. Can you come over and clean it up? I would never call Pastor Kevin to do that. I have Kathleen. We got to take responsibility for our stuff. Live a life that is responding to God's grace. What He did for me, I'll hold nothing back in what I can do for Him. That's my response to God. I want to give Him everything. Okay, so in the mafia, there's accountability. You don't do your job, you get a knock at the door. They come and they take care of business, right? Okay. In the Christian faith, we are called to an accountability, a responsibility to serve God and serve one another as part of His family. We're here to serve our community, to share the gospel with them.